Gracious God, creator of the universe, and yet the lover of my soul. Alpha and Omega, and yet I can call you friend. I don't have to beg you for anything, but I can thank you for everything. God, I thank you because this is the day that you have made, and I can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for this day of magnificence and glory and splendor. God, I thank you for life, health, and for strength. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for peace, love, and joy. I thank you for the essence of you that envelops me right now, from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. We thank you for this day of manifestation. We thank you for the day of revelation. We thank you for the day of impartation. We thank you as you move in the midst of your people to bring us to the greatest times that we've ever seen since the foundation of the world. Thank you, Lord, that for this time and for this season, you've allowed us to be a part of your move in the face of the earth. I thank you, God, for the revolution that you're bringing forth, God, even in the midst of the earth right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of what you're doing in this hour, because in the last days, saith God, you said you would pour out your spirit on all flesh. And so now we thank you for the pouring out. God, I thank you for the rain and the move of your spirit. I thank you for fresh oil. I thank you for new wine. I thank you for the new thing that you're doing. I thank you now that it does spring forth. I thank you, Lord, that you've called us to be the head and not the tail. You've called us to be above only and not beneath. You've called us to be the lender and not the borrower. You've called, God, that our storehouses would be full and increase. God, I thank you because even I decree and declare that the people under the sound of my voice, even now, are moving in the might of your strength. Not by might nor by power, but by your spirit. I thank you for those that are the sons and daughters of God that are called because they walk not after the flesh, but after your spirit. I thank you for the rising up of the people of your kingdom. I thank you that your kingdom come. I thank you that your will be done, even now in earth as it is in heaven. I thank you, Lord, because you are moving in the midst of your people mightily as never before. Raise us up, oh God, to the standard of what you've called us to be. God, I thank you for the standard of greatness. I thank you for the standard of holiness. I thank you for the standard of moving as the sons and daughters of yours, and not as vagabonds, not as those that never knew you, not as those that are confused and confounded, but God, those that that know who they are in you. I thank you for the knowing. I thank you, God, for knowing you. I thank you for knowing your presence. Thank you for knowing your Holy Ghost power that gives us the ability to be successful. Your anointing that gives us the power to rise up and be called blessed. Thank you for that is in us. Thank you, God, for all things that pertain to life and godliness. Thank you because we are not confused. We are not deceived. And we thank you for that clarity of mind and the clarity of vision that allows us to walk forth as kings and queens, as princes and princesses in the kingdom that walk in the earth. We thank you that we are your beloved and we rise up as the apple of your eye. We rise up, oh God, as those that you love with all of your heart. And God, we love you back. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for soundness of spirit. I thank you that healing is our bread. Healing is our deliverance. By the stripes of Jesus, we're already healed. And we speak forth that healing even now for those that need it. Thank you, God, for every stripe that was taken. Thank you for the bruising. Thank you that he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. God, with those same stripes we declare and we speak healing in Jesus' name. We give you glory. We give you peace. We give you honor. We give you blessing. We give you might. We ascribe all of these things unto you because they are yours. Thank you. The fruit of my lips giving thanks unto your name. Ever giving you all that is yours. Glory, honor, power, dominion, majesty. It's yours. I decree it and I speak it. In the mighty name of Jesus, it is so. Amen and amen.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Yes You O Cube. What does O Cube stand for? One-on-one? Because it's just me and you. I am the spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I want to welcome you on today. Yes, Sharon, it's Friday. Y'all know how we do it on Friday. It is Friday, October the 27th in the year 2023. This month is almost gone. This year is almost gone. This week is almost gone. And at the end of it all, it's another day's journey. And I'm glad about it. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. You better dance. I feel like leaping. I feel like running. I feel like running through troops and leaping over walls, Joanna G. I really do. Yes, I do. My God, today. Let's go.
You don't have the words. Let your feet speak for you.
Let your feet speak for you.
Let your feet speak for you. And right now, be a testimony. Hey! He has done great things.
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 He has done.
Hey!
He has done. Mighty God. He has done great things. He has done. He has done. And the thing I do is you don't have the words. Let your feet speak for you.
Let's go!
You got to learn how to let your feet speak for you.
Let your feet testify.
Be a testimony.
in this morning, babies. That's the way we come in on Fridays, because God has done so many great things. He just absolutely positively has. And I just got to get that praise break in. You know, that's a part of my culture. Some people like, it don't take all that. You ain't got to do all that. That's fine and good. You don't have to do it. Honey, I enjoy getting my praise on. Please believe it. I enjoy every moment of it, and I tell people all the time, child, if I'm in a wheelchair, I'm going to pop a wheelie in my wheelchair. Y'all better ask somebody, because that's the way STL gets down. Now, thank you for allowing me to just have that Friday fresh start moment. Let my feet testify and getting the praises on for the goodness of the Lord. Now let's get this party started and get this party crack-a-lacking, because I've got a lot to cover today, and I will be addressing, listen, this is a coming out party for me. This is a coming out party for Boss Energy. So I'm going to tell you what. You might need to get your pencil and paper out. You might want to take notes today, because I'm going to be dropping a whole lot of knowledge. I'm going to be giving information about Boss Energy and how we are moving forward. And I'm talking about Boss Energy LLC. It is established. We've been moving stealthily. We're moving in stealth. I'm going to share some things today so you can know when I say we're building something, we are building something. I'm not just bumping my gums and saying something because it sounds good. So I've got a lot to cover. I've got a 9 o'clock appointment, so I'll be getting out here just a few minutes early. It's just in my backyard, so it won't take me long to get there. But I will be wrapping up before 9 o'clock, just a few minutes ahead of time. So that being said, we got a lot of ground to cover. Let's come through and look at who came in the VIP section on this morning. And the third person in the Lions Den this morning, making sure there was plenty of love, joy, peace, soul, and happiness, was none other than Truck Driver. You did that, sir. Come on in there. Let me find you. There you are. That's my Mufasa. That's my James Sims. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Truck. Nothing but mad love to you, and come on in here. Love me some you, and thank you for coming in. Listen, he's always here. My brother's on the road traveling, and he does that truck driving exceptionally. But he's here. He's just lurking in the background somewhere, but that's my brother. He always comes in. And listen, he came in. He had a little groove in his step. I'm cracking up. Let me see if I can pull this up so y'all can see. This is how Truck came in this morning, y'all. This is how Truck came in, and I love it when they come in. Listen, I love it when they come in feeling good and showing that they do. This right here, that's Truck. That's how Truck came in this morning, cheering. So at the end of the day, he's feeling good this morning. Please believe it. Rebel. He's feeling good. He's feeling good. He's feeling good. That's my Mufasa. That's my Truck Driver. Now, the second person in the Lions Den this morning, I know, Dr. Daddy, I know. The second person in the Lions Den this morning was none other than KK79. Yes, KK Michelle, otherwise known as KK79. That's my beautiful soul right there. She came in this morning giving all the love. Listen, they came in feeling good. I ain't even mad at them. They came in feeling real good. And so at the end of the day, I like the way they come in. I mean, we talking about this is at dark 30. They coming in at midnight, and this is the way they come in the Lions Den. And that's KK this morning. So much mad love to my beautiful sister. That's my beautiful soul right there. I love me some her. But the winner of Grandpa Holmes' share is none other than Sassy Cassie Slide and Glide, otherwise known as Cassandra Isaiah. You did that, sis. You are the winner of Grandpa Holmes' share. Get your lip sips and fingertips and come on. girl. I love you. I absolutely, positively do. And listen, that's the way we do it in the VIP section. And congratulations to you, sis, once more and again. Come around, and you know how I do it. I like to just stop and appreciate my moderators, because my moderators are all that in a bag of chips. I have the best mods in the world, please believe it. Here we go, and I love them. I absolutely positively do. Shelly Thunder. Shelly Thunder will give you a scripture to bless your soul. She'll give you a word in season. I see that, mod love, Joanna G. I see that, mod love. She'll give you a word in season. She'll pray for you and give you the prayer of faith that'll save the sick and know that the Lord will make them whole. But she'll block your tail. Good morning, and thank you for that, mod love, BTD mom. I see that, mod love, Cassandra Woke. She'll block your tail. She will do it. That's my mod extraordinaire, Shelly Thunder. Then we've got the leader of the pack. I see that, mod love, Dr. Dady Priest. Then we've got the leader of the pack, none other than the Rebel Inc. She's my day one. She's my ace boom coon. She's my little sister, and I love her so much. She is a streamer, and if you're not following the Rebel Inc., quit chewing ways. Just quit them, because she's going to bless your whole entire life. I promise you that she will. Then we come around, and I've got the Quiet Storm. Yes, the Quiet Storm, children. She's my angel. Yes, she's my angel, and she changes the atmosphere just by being in it. I love these three beautiful ladies, and I call them my blessed Trinity. Now, my mother said when you come in the room, speak to somebody. So I just want to come around and tell everybody good morning. There'll be a day when I won't be able to do this one by one and name by name, but since I can do it now, I'm going to do it. Glenda M. Groves, good morning to you. Nothing but mad love to you, sister. So much love. Come through, come through. It's good to have you in the Lion's Den. Stacy XOXO, good morning to you. Nothing but mad love to you, and thank you for being in the Lion's Den. You belong here. A.M. Harvey, also BTD mom, otherwise known as Anita Harvey. She's in all the platforms and all the spaces. Come on in here. That's my biggest, big, beautiful sister, and I'm giving nothing but mad love to you. Good morning. Then I got my beautifully blessed sister, Joanna G. 98. She's always going to be one of the first ones in the room. Good morning to you, sis. You know I love me some you. Then my sister, cousin, pastor, friend, MCP 812. Come on in here, sis. Nothing but mad love to you. I see you. I see you. And listen, I'm praying for your brother Roger. Come on, put those prayer hands up. Y'all know how we do it in the Lion's Den. Listen, when we can't do nothing else, we know how to pray. We're praying for my cousin Raj, who's at St. Luke's right now, battling with some heart problems. But listen, the prayers are going up. The prayers are going up. Listen, we know the effectual, fervent prayer of the righteous avails much. So we're sending up those prayers from the Lion's Den. And Roger, be well, and let may the hand of the Lord touch you right where you are in that hospital bed. In Jesus' name, it is so. Ashe, ashe. Healing is the children's bread. And now we coming on down, and I'm looking and I'm booking, and I see Cassandra Woke 2022. That's my sister from Oklahoma, where the wind comes streaming down the Main. I love me some you, and good morning to you. Dr. Dady Priest. Yes, the high priestess is in the room. Good morning to you, my sister. Listen, if you're not following Dr. Dady Priest, where engagement matters, quit Joanne, just quit them, because I promise you she's going to bless your whole entire life. I promise you she will. Mad love to you this morning, my sister. Coming on down, and the Rebel Ink. She's in the room, y'all. That's my girl right there. And listen, she is a streamer. If you're not following the Rebel Ink, quit your eyes. Just quit them, because she's going to bless your whole entire life. Coming on down and Flirt 9192. I'm coming in and I'm seeing you in the room, and I'm so happy and tickled and thrilled to see your name in the midst. Come on in here, Flirt, and nothing but mad love to you. Thank you for coming in the Lion's Den this morning. Carolyn White Green. Listen, this is one of my childhood heroes. She and her mother and brother used to be members at our church back in the day. She relocated down here to Texas, and Carolyn, looked like I followed you right on down here. Good morning to you. You know, you have sheroes all the way back when. She's one of my sheroes, and I'm so glad to see you in the house this morning. Mad love to you. Coming on down to see who else came in the room, who came in while I was in through the basement while I was upstairs. Let me see if anybody else came in. I want to acknowledge everybody that I can. Kimberly Gift, come on in here, and thank you for the prayers. I appreciate all of you that are praying. Prayers going up, Roger. Prayers going up. And God is going to answer everyone. Kimberly Gift, thank you for the prayers, and thank you for being here. Good morning to you, my beautiful sister. Nothing but mad love to you. Then I look, and who's here but my brother CJ Manning 7. CJ Manning 7 is a gamer, y'all. He's a streamer. If you're not following CJ Manning 7, quit your ways. Just quit him, because he's going to bless your whole life, because he's blessing me right now. Oh, Mufasa. There's my truck driver. That's my Lion King right there. I love me some him. This is my brother from another mother. This is my friend. I love him to the end and beyond. Till 2 palms down and 10 toes up. That's my truck driver and Mufasa and Lion King right there. I love you, brother. You be safe out there in them streets this morning. And that's the way we're starting this Fresh Start Friday. Now, looky here, looky here. We're going to go ahead and get started. To all of those that are just listening, but you're not chatting in my stream, I want to give blessings and love to you as well. It's good to have you here. It's good to see you in the midst. And I appreciate your presence in the Lion's Den. I really, really do. We're blessed by just having your presence and being in the midst. You don't have to talk. You don't have to chit chat. Just being here shares and shows your love to this streamer and this stream, and I want to say thank you. DJ Roll'em 27. There's another streamer, you all. If you're not following DJ Roll'em 27, quit your ways. Just quit them. Good morning, my brother. Nothing but mad love to you. Come on in here, and it's good to see you in the Lion's Den. Now, as we get ready to get started, get your coffee cups out, get your coffee cups out, get your coffee cups out. Because listen, I got just a tad bit of fresh brew. I'm only going to cover one story. Then we're going to go on and talk about what we need to talk about on this morning. Get your coffee cups out. I see your coffee cup, BTD, Mom. See your coffee cup, Joanna G. Come on, Rebel. Listen, this is how we gonna do it this morning. While we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. Come on and get up. It was reported to me, Cheering. It was reported to me. I see your coffee cups, Dr. Dady Priest. Come on in here. Come on in here. Come on in here. Now, I'm going to start here. I'm not one that gets into celebrity gossip, but I'm going to start here because I have to say, Cheering, I was trying to defend Jada and Will. Now, see, some of y'all got sick just by hearing the name, because we're sick of them. We are sick of them and their business in the streets. Now, I will say, I got to say this, and I'm starting here only because I'm so flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted. Child, I'm I'm flabbergasted. I engaged my nephew in this conversation on the day before yesterday, or yesterday. I can't even remember. My days start running together. And, you know, he kept saying, it's publicity stunt, it's publicity. And, you know, I'm like, no, you know, it's got to be, you know, we got mental health issues. We got this, we got that, we got the other. Well, less than 15 hours ago, Will Smith launched his new podcast stream. And I'm going to tell you what. No! Who's not going to watch it is me. Now, I mean, in just hours, you knew something was up too, Joanna G. Just hours before the stream released his maiden voyage on his new podcast stream, I had this intensive conversation with BTD Mom and my nephew about how, you know, from the humanitarian standpoint, let me just say that, from the Dr. Dady. And unbeknownst to me, whilst I was yet speaking, he was launching his brand new podcast, which at the end of the day, that's why he been so quiet, Dr. Dady. That's why he been so quiet. I saw that thing pop up in my YouTube channel, and I'm not gonna lie, I got irritated. I felt like just going through the house and throwing stuff. So, listen, we all tapped out. We're all tapped out. But this is my thing. And at this point, you know, you got those that do try to give the benefit of the doubt and look at it from another perspective. But far be it from me before I part my lips to say anything else about those two individuals. Because when I saw that brand spanking new, and it's post-edited, it wasn't live off the cuff. It's post-edited. So at the end of the day, y'all got me once, but you won't get me twice. And I'm done defending your tail. Get out of Dodge. Now, to get on to some real news, and I just had to get that off my chest because, I mean, I was defending those folk from the humanitarian. Now, we all sick of hearing them talk. There ain't no doubt about that. We say we don't need to know every little nuance and bit and detail about your business, and we quite frankly don't care. But honey, while I'm trying to go someplace else with it, y'all out here continuing on in your foolishness, and we've had enough. Can I just say it like that? Now, if you didn't know, while you slumbered, slept, and slobbered, we have entered into a skirmish with Iran. So if you didn't know that, I'm going to play this clip for you real quick. Because at the end of the day, I want you to be aware of current events. And this is probably the only thing that I'm really going to kind of address on today, because I want to go a different direction and I want to talk about something else. But I do want you to be, Will has been mad at black folks since they didn't really acknowledge him as a rapper. Well, and believe it or not, Dr. Dady, I did listen to the first couple of minutes to see what he was talking about. And he's going back to how he started in his rap career. How about that? How about that? So you may have hit the nail on the head. This may be his attempt to come out and address the lack of support that he feels maybe that he's gotten from the black community as it relates to his rapping career. But at the end of the day, sit down, Will. Have all the seats. Will you just have all the seats? We've had every bit and ounce of you that we can take. Have all the seats. Just sit down somewhere. Sit down somewhere. Now, if you didn't know, while you slept and slumbered, I do want you to be aware of this. The United States has entered into a skirmish or initiated a skirmish against Iran. During the night, they launched a secret attack offense against Iran. And so I will address this morning for anybody that is unaware. Of course, this has been making the news for the last several hours throughout the night into this early morning. Here we go.
We are coming on.
Hold on a second. Let me get you some volume. Here we go. Talk to me. Let me hear. Where's my... Okay, you should be able to... What's going on? Okay. And here we go with it.
The air at this hour with breaking news. The United States has just struck 2 Iranian-linked locations in eastern Syria. That, the U.S. says, is in retaliation for attacks against U.S. personnel. A new statement from Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin says that these were what the U.S. is calling self-defense strikes. They describe them as precision self-defense strikes against 2 facilities in eastern Syria. These are against what the U.S. officials describe as Iranian-backed forces, Iranian-backed attacks against U.S. forces. And the statement from Secretary Austin says they are unacceptable and must stop. Iran wants to hide its hand and deny its role in these attacks against our forces. We will not let them. Joining us on the phone is Gabe Gutierrez from Washington, who has been following this for us. He is senior White House correspondent. Gabe, thank you so much for being with us on such short notice. What do we know at this hour about these strikes and what they may mean about the U.S.'s military posture in that region?
Oh, hi there, Jake. Well, as you said, the statement coming out just a short time ago from the defense secretary, and it comes as the U.S. military, there have really been rising tensions in the region over the war in Israel. And the defense secretary called the attacks separate and distinct from that ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. But the reality, Jake, is that as tensions have been rising in the region, there has been an uptick in these types of attacks against U.S. facilities. And while the U.S. has said that it does not believe that Iran was directly responsible or gave the green light for the Hamas terrorist attack against Israel, it has been saying that Iran is broadly complicit for funding Hamas and also other proxies really throughout the region. And President Biden has repeatedly warned other actors throughout the region not to exploit this situation. So again, this comes at a time between October 17th and the 24th, U.S. and coalition forces were attacked at least 10 separate times in Iraq, 3 times in Syria, by a mix of drones and rockets, according to the Pentagon. And on October 18th, at least 2 one-way attack drones targeted a military base in southern Syria. And on the same day, there were also 2 separate drone attacks against U.S. and coalition forces stationed at a U.S. base in western Iraq. So again, these launched strikes come as retaliation for that, basically warning Iran and its proxies to back off, Jake.
And Gabe, in the statement from Secretary Austin, he specifically mentions the attacks you are describing, that series of attacks in Iraq and Syria, and it specifically, of course, names Iran as the backer of the proxy forces that it says carried out these attacks. It also, his statement also mentions the U.S. personnel, one of whom died of a cardiac event while taking shelter during one of the attacks. It was unrelated to the actual danger from the attacks, other than that it happened contemporaneously with it. And then it mentions that 21 U.S. personnel suffered minor injuries, but all have since returned to duty. Considering just how much death and destruction we have been looking at around the Israel-Hamas war, it is striking to me, and I wonder what you make of this, just how fiercely the United States seems to be striking back in response to something that has, even it says in its statement here, involves minor injuries. What does that suggest to you about the level of tolerance the U.S. has for violence directed at its personnel and its facilities in the region?
Well, look, that statement does describe it as minor injuries, but at least some of those were reported to be traumatic brain injuries. So some discussion about how minor they are in fact. But Jake, this is something that for the past several days we've been hearing just kind of more stronger talk from the White House, and even just earlier today, National Security spokesman John Kirby. I'm reading, looking through a transcript really quickly, and he basically said we're going to do what we have to do to protect troops in our facilities, and he basically said that as Commander-in-Chief, that's the president's decision to make, and he'll make it in a, quote, time and manner of his own choosing. So that statement came just several hours ago, perhaps telegraphing what, the president may, the decision he was about to make. And again, we're just now getting the statement from the defense secretary that, in fact, U.S. military forces conducted what are described, the statement says, as self-defense strikes on those two facilities in eastern Syria. So certainly huge developments, but potentially this, has larger implications for the future of the Israel-Hamas conflict. Even though this statement says that this is separate and distinct from that, but this does not happen in a vacuum, Jake. Tensions across the region are extremely high, and the Biden administration is really scrambling to prevent this from becoming a wider war. That's why they, sent those carrier strike groups to the region. And over the last several days, we've been hearing about these increased attacks on U.S. and coalition forces. So in some sense, it was a matter of time between when those attacks were happening against U.S. forces in the region and when the U.S. would have to respond. The question now is, how does Iran respond to this? And does this risk a further escalation, given that tensions are already so high between Israel, Hamas, and also the concerns about a growing humanitarian crisis in Gaza, but now does this, develop into a wider war, which the Biden administration has said that it certainly wants to avoid.
Senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez joining us now. Again, U.S. forces have struck two facilities in eastern Syria in what it describes as a self-defense action in retaliation for repeated strikes against U.S. military personnel and facilities in Iraq and Syria.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the...
Now, let's kind of dissect that a little bit. Good morning. There's my angel. Michelle Brownell, good morning to you. And oh my, thank you for those roaring biddies. And good morning, DJ Big Ed Smith. He is a streamer, you all. And if you're not following my brother, DJ Big Ed Smith, quit your ways. Just quit them, because I promise you, you will be blessed. Good morning to you, my brother. And once again, thank you for those roaring biddies. We're building something. Anna Joe Jones is in the room, and good morning to you, sis. So good to have you with us from the Facebook. Nothing but mad love to you. Thank you for joining us, and you are so welcome to be in the Lion's Den, because you belong here. Now listen, I want to touch on a few things in this conversation that you heard by this reporter. First and foremost, when President Biden says that Iran was complicit in sending funding to Hamas, let's be clear. Israel is operating in genocide. They've been occupying Palestine forever and a day, and they have been guilty of the most atrocious crimes against humanity that we've ever seen. And that's what the United States is funding, openly, happily, gladly. And instead of giving the people in the United States our own tax dollars to help us. We're sending $100 billion over to somebody else that is committing atrocities against humanity. But then you want to turn around. This is the hypocrisy of the United States. Then you want to turn around and tell Iran. And these were minor skirmishes. I do want to underscore that. Now, if you heard the commentator that asked the gentleman, he said, but it's reported these were minor skirmishes, but the United States responded with this big stick. How do you explain that? He said, well, they're saying they're minor, but we understand some of them, we've heard it might even be traumatic brain injuries. Now, this is what I want to ask you all. Now, this is the kind of foolishness they put out there and they think we're stupid. Remember that he said one was a man that during one of the incidents on the part of who they're saying is Iran, but we don't know. At the end of the day, the man had a heart attack totally unrelated to the incident. He just happened to have a heart attack and the incident was going on. You can't blame them for the man having a heart attack. Number two, the rest of the injuries were minor, but if you heard the man that was being interviewed on behalf of the United States, he said, well, they're saying minor, but we've heard. And see, anytime they start saying we've heard, you can almost bet your bottom dollar when they come out talking about we heard.
Why you always lying?
Some reports are saying, whose report? And whose report do you believe? You're lying. Now, you explained to me, even as the man said, all of those people that received those minor injuries have all returned back to active duty and to regular work. How can you return back to active duty with a major brain trauma? Explain it to me, Lucy. How can you just up and return back to work with a major brain trauma? Because that's what the man tried to say. There's some reports that some of these individuals actually see.
Why you always lying?
And if we return personnel back to work with brain traumas, shame on us. Listen, if we return personnel that are serving the military back to full active duty with brain trauma,
shame. Shame. Shame.
That's on us. But if I could tell and say what I believe, they were minor injuries and the folks went back to work. So you get this massive response, this aggressive response from President Biden with the military against Iran. And I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, do you know what's ringing down in my shondo? You know, we used to sing a song, joy bells keep ringing in my soul. Listen, it ain't joy bells, it's oil bells. Oil bells are ringing in Joe Biden's soul. Oil bells, oil bells, oil bells, oil bells keep ringing in my soul. That's what's ringing in their soul. Oil, O-I-L, oil bells. So at the end of the day, you talk about Iran. At the end of the day, you talk about what's going on over there in Palestine. At the end of the day, the people that they want to attack all have oil. That's the common denominator. So if you get it out to me and try to sell me this bill of goods, I'm going to keep saying,
why you always lying?
Dr. Dady, it's oil bells. So at the end of the day, you know, to have such a reaction to a minor, what they're saying were minor attacks. And this is the thing, and I want y'all to understand this, United States of America, Americans. We are on the wrong side of this, and the countries are standing up against our hypocrisy. So at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. That's all I'm going to give to that. Listen, messing up their investments, Michelle Brownell, that's what it is, messing up folks' investments. So look at it for what it is And I'm like, listen, don't y'all drink the Kool-Aid. They're gonna spin the tale and they're gonna tell it however they want. But I'm gonna say it once more and again to answer if all of these people really had brain traumas as you want to try to report to make it look like you don't look so bad. How did you send them all back to work with brain traumas? Now, that being said, don't put it past the military to send your loved ones back to work when they're not fully healed and well. However, you didn't hear that from me. Now, this is where I'm going to go, and that's really all I'm going to talk about on the news, what happened while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, because at the end of the day, I really don't want to spend a whole lot of time, energy, and effort coming through. Lavinia Christine, good morning to you, sister. That's my friend from Kansas City, and I love me some you. Now, I'm going to go back because at the end of the day, we keep saying won't be this way always. You all know that I've been talking about the change and the transition that's coming. You know that I've been sharing in what we've been looking at Revelations, the 20th chapter, and how we suddenly have overlooked the passage of 1,000-year millennia where the devil, Satan, all of the negativity is going to be cast into the bottomless pit. And chained there, and that the people would reign and rule on the earth for 1,000 years. I'm in that mindset. I'm not the gloom and doom preacher that's out here running around talking about, oh my God, if God doesn't hurry up and come back, we about to be really messed up. Good morning, Rhonda Royal. There's my friend. Good morning to you, and come on in here. Nothing but mad love to you. Good to see you in the Lion's Den. So I'm going to say once more and again, I do not espouse to that theology. I feel like we're coming into a season and a time where we are about to reign and rule, and God is choosing and selecting those of us to be a part of that rulership. So this is going to be an unveiling, if you will, this morning. Take out your pens, take out your papers, because you might want to take some notes. But this is going to be an unveiling, if you will, of Boss Energy. Boss Energy LLC is the corporation that has been put together. I know, ain't we happy? Y'all better put some love in there, put some hearts in there for Rhonda Royal. It's good to see her this morning. Come on with the love. Now, I want us to understand that Boss Energy LLC is being positioned. And I've been moving in stealth because there's some things you don't put all your business out there in the street, but I do want to share some places that we're going, some things that we're doing. I showed a video on the other day, on Wednesday, as we got up out here. We're talking about Boss Energy all day long. Now, I played this video because I wanted us to have a conversation around this sister's reaction and her response to her scenario. And this is one thing I want us to understand about business, entrepreneurship, and money. You've got to understand how it works to be able to operate and maneuver in a positive way. Now, I'm going to show this video again because this is where we started. And this is what I want you to understand about Boss Energy. Boss Energy, let me just speak over my own life. Let me just speak over my own life. I am going to be one of the major angel investors in this global environment for Black community. I'm going to be one of the major angel investors for Black economics globally. Let me just speak my own existence. Let me speak my own blessing. Let me speak my own truth. Boss Energy is going to be a location, an entity, a space and a place that's going to seed and finance and fund Black entrepreneurs, Black businesses, Black organizations. We talk about how we're going to change the path and the trajectory. It cannot be, come on, Michelle, come on, Dr. Dady, I'm speaking it. It cannot be done without an economic base. Come on in here. I see you. KB Mori, good to see you. Kamori, good to see you. This is the space and the place that Boss Energy is positioning itself right now. Now, let me say this to you, and I thank God for it. And I told you I've been moving in stealth. I've been moving quietly because everybody, listen, you got to have the understanding. Everybody on your side, hear me when I say this, and I'm not saying this with negative energy, but I'm saying this for the sake of wisdom. Everybody on your side is not on your team. Some people are on your side to get your intel. Did you hear what I said? Everybody that's on your side is not on your team. Some folks are on your side to get your intel. Did you hear the words? Can I say it one more time? Let me be religious and say, can I say it once for the Father, once for the Son, once for the Holy Ghost? Everybody on your side is not actually on your side. Some of those folks are on your side to get your intel. So this is a season and a time when we're talking about changing things in a trajectory at such a massive state, in such a massive way. This is where I want you to understand there are times and seasons and places that you're going to have to move stealthily. You're going to have to move with stealth. That means everybody can't see, know, and hear and understand everything that you're doing. But I can share enough. I said what I said, BTD Mom, and I'll add to it before I take it back. Cassandra Woke, Dr. Dady, we talking up in here, Michelle Brown. So this is a time I'm going to give a revelation of boss energy, because boss energy globally, I'm not just talking about in this country, boss energy is going to position itself globally to be one of the major seed funding sources in angel investors. Come on here. We're going to be one of the major sources for venture capital. We're going to be one of the major sources for private equity or PE. Come on here. I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. We're going to be one of the major sources, and it's going to be a location where people can come. It's going to be an entity. It's going to be an organization that people can come, and we're going to be able to do all of the above. Now, as we look at, and somebody said, oh my God, that's a tall order. It can be done. It shall be done, and we're positioning. Now, this is the blessing, and this is where I feel empowered today, because at this point, I'm grateful to God that I actually have someone in the PE arena, someone who is versed, someone who is, this is what they do on a regular, who has agreed to take boss energy, BE, boss energy, BE. Someone has agreed in the field out of a private equity firm that is global, has agreed to partner with boss energy, y'all. Don't listen, don't y'all mess with me. I'm gonna plot my own self. Yes. Understanding the times, Rhonda. Understanding the times. Y'all. Listen, we ain't playing no games, Joanna G. We ain't playing no games, Dr. Dady. This is why, while everybody else is out doing what they're doing, listen, when I tell you all in so many ways, I really, while everybody folks have their agendas on Twitch, folks have their agendas on YouTube, folks have their agendas on Facebook, and some people are trying to feed their egos and popularity and this and that. I don't care about no popularity. When I tell you I'm about to be one of the major angel investors for Black Corp and Black people and Black businesses globally, that's what I'm positioning myself for. Y'all can run out here and do all this other stuff to try to stroke your ego. We're about making some real change. Now, I'm going to play this video once more and again, and we're going to come back and talk about, come on, MCP 812. That's the way we rolling. B, boss energy. And Boss Energy LLC is about to show up and show out. Y'all better get ready. Now, this is what I want to talk about, because this young lady, she is an example, if you will, of our lack of understanding how PE which is private equity. She's oblivious to private equity. I would venture to say she was probably approached by a VC, which is a venture capital. And you'll, before you leave out here today, you'll understand the difference between a PE, which is private equity, and though private means it's a company that is not listed on the stock index. They're a private corporation. They're not listed publicly on the stock indexes. So at the end of the day, a private equity firm is not listed on the stock market. They go in and they basically buy up businesses and help people to expand and grow. You'll get more, you'll understand it more. But that's what PE, private equity. I'm going to assume that if I really were guessing, I believe this sister is probably being approached. Shelly Thunder, come on in here, sis. This sister that we're about to watch is probably being approached by a venture capital, a VC. And I'm gonna come back and talk about the elements of what all is involved here, because I really believe she really doesn't understand business. And this is a problem. If we're going to have entrepreneurs out here in the community, you as a business owner, you need to understand what is going on. So I'm gonna play this once more and again, and then I'm gonna come back and talk about it. Here we go.
I'm so pissed off right now that I don't even know how. Okay, so I'm just tell you what happened, right? Just got off this call, and for those of y'all who don't know, we've been dealing with a lot of like big corps trying to buy us out. We are a supplement company. We're Black-owned, family-operated. We have plant-based proteins that taste like dessert. I'll explain more of that later, because I don't want to lose my train of thought of what I'm trying to tell you guys. But I am so pissed right now because the phone call that we just had, these big corporations, they call and they try to, or they email or whatever, that lawyers, they do all these things that they try to convince you that they can take over your brand and make it better than what you ever could. Why? Because they got all this money that they throw at it. Now, here's the issue. First of all, I told y'all we are never selling our brand. I don't care how difficult it gets, because it is hard. It's tough. But I don't care how difficult it gets. We're never selling our brand, because this is for us. We have built something amazing and we're continuing to grow. And the thing is, they're like, oh, we can take it off your hands. We can give you this amount of money. It's a lot of money, y'all. So it's not easy to just be like, okay, no. Because it could be, you know, a lot of times we operate in selfishness as people, right? And you could say, yes, give me that big check. Let me go and live my life. Let's go on vacations. Let's do this. Let's do that. I don't want to work. I don't want to do this. But I've hired my whole family, plus people in our community, to build an empire that is something for us, built by us, created by us. And they just want to take it. They just want to take it. And the saddest part is, right? Say we were like, okay, well, we'll take the offer. What they're gonna do is put a bunch of crap in it, cheapen it up, and just throw money at it, as far as just putting it in people's faces, hiring influencers to say how good it is, putting it in stores and just kind of like throwing it at you, right? Versus it being organic how we have it right now. The flavors are flavors that are nostalgic to my childhood. It's like, sorry. It means nothing to them and everything to me. Everything to me and my family. So I'm not letting it go. Sorry, I don't like to get on here and do all this, but I just wanted to share because I thank you guys for your support.
And that's all I'm gonna show. I'm gonna stop right there, because we saw this on the other day. I showed it to you then. Now this is what I want to address, okay? Because the Black community in finance tends to be uneducated. And that's unfortunate. Now, this is the first takeaway. If companies keep coming to her, she has a good product. Okay. If companies keep approaching her, she has a product that they believe is successful. Where does the problem lie? Unless it's an irreputable company that's coming to her, which could be. And so I'm going to give that as an out. I don't know what kind of companies are coming to her. Barbara Hardy, my Visa They friend. Listen, all my friends are here this morning. Mad love to you and good morning, good morning, good morning. Good to see you. Go beautiful. Just gorgeous. Now, this is what I want us to understand. Black folks will look at that and we'll have a reaction emotionally, not understanding she's missing a golden opportunity. And you would say, spiritual thought leader, how would you say that? They're asking her to sell out her company. No, they are not. And this is, and again, if she's got a reputable company that's approaching her, they are not asking her to sell out of her. As a matter of fact, let me make this clear to you. They don't want to have to work your business. They want you to work your business and continue to do what you're doing. Otherwise, they're going to have to go and find more employees. They're going to have to educate somebody to your recipes. So at the end of the day, they not only want to keep you, they want to keep your staff that's making it happen. Now, so what's going on here? She's probably being approached by one of two. Venture capitalists, which you hear the term VC. I told some of y'all gonna need to get your paper out, get your pen and paper out, start writing this stuff down. A VC is a venture capitalist organization. Venture capitalists typically look for new upstart companies that are just getting started. New York Cheesecake, come on in here, mad love to you. And welcome to the Lions Den. New York Cheesecake is a streamer, y'all. If you're not following New York Cheesecake, quit your ways and follow. Now, listen, to get back to this. They are more, and if you're a business owner in here, if you are somebody that has an idea, DJ, come on, DJ said good morning to you as well if I missed you. If you are a business owner or you plan to own a business or you have a vision in mind, your family member, your grandchildren, I don't care, your friend, your neighbor, I want y'all to pay attention because I'm going to drop some gems today that you need. Now, what she fails to understand, I would say it's probably a venture capitalist because they're looking at her business as a startup. She's already invested $1.2 million, she said, in the corporation. She's employing her family, which is great, and she can continue to employ her family. And this is the thing, and this is where black folks miss it. With her 1.2 million and her struggle, if she took the capital from the venture capitalist, or it could actually be a PE, it might be a private equity corporation. That private equity usually gets more mature and companies that have already proven their track record. That's what PEs tend to go after. But PEs will also go after youthful young upstarts that are just getting started, that they believe shows a lot of promise. So understand this dynamic. I got to break this down because I understand we as black folks for so long, we have felt that the man's out there to get me. And many times that's the case. That's why Boss Energy LLC is coming into the space, because we want to be able to provide a space specifically to the black community where we are reputable and we are people of character and integrity, and you don't have to worry about, am I getting in bed with fleas? But at the same time, understand that these corporations operate and exist to make money. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about just making money for them. They want your organization, your idea, your business. They want you to be successful because that's the only way they can make a profit. They're not going to come after a company that's in trouble. They have to go through a process, and this is how you're going to know if it's legit or not. They go through a process called due diligence. Write that down if you don't know what it is. They go through a process called due diligence because they want to make sure that when they take you on, because they're going to be fronting you their money. front you. That's what a VC does. That's what a PE does. They front you their money. If they front you their money, they want to guarantee that you're going to be successful and give them a ROI, which is a return on their investment. They're not going to give you money on something that they don't believe is going to give them a return on their investment. So this young lady right here, the fact that they keep coming to her and they keep offering her says that yes, you do have a good product. Unfortunately, her lack of understanding of how a VC or a PE works is going to keep her limited. Why do I say that? She's going to be limited and struggling. She's already put in her 1.2 mil and is snotting and crying because she's struggling. I have no doubt. After she's done everything that she can, she's still struggling. So this is where I want us to understand at the end of the day, if you say, okay, I have access to $100 million. I'm just throwing out an arbitrary number. I have access at my disposal for me to do research and development, for me to do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, because they want you to be successful. And especially with PEs are only going to be there maybe 10 years. VCs are going to be there shorter than that. They're going to get their money, make the success, and then jump out, depending on how it's structured, depending on how the contract is. At the end of the day, this is where I want you to understand, if you are struggling and you had to raise your 1.2 million and you're still struggling, if they come to you and say, I'm going to give you access to 100 million, why wouldn't you go with the 100 million? You're not selling out to the extent of, again, they want you to still run your company. They want employees that know what they're doing to run their company. Now, when we hear downsizing, it may be because if there's a situation where that company, that VC or that PE already has a function going, they'll make an assessment as to who is essential and where you're replicating, because you don't want to replicate and pay two people to do the same thing when one will do. That's common sense business. So that is the only way and the only place you see those types of things happen predominantly. And you get paid to leave. How about that? You get paid to leave. They pay you to leave. You're not leaving broke. But at the end of the day, this is where I want us to address this idea. Due diligence. They will come in and do due diligence of your business because they want to guarantee that this is a business that will be successful. Good morning, KB Browns. Good morning to you. They want to make sure that your company is going to be successful. If you pass due diligence, you are on to something. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? If you pass due diligence, you are on to something. And this is what people have to understand as well. When you start looking at, and I said this on Wednesday when I left out, when you start your company, you need to look, there are options that you have in front of you. Now, she got offended. I don't think I let it play to the end because she said they told her if she didn't make this move, she was going to stay a mom and pop company. That is correct. That is correct. Because it takes money to make money. She's going to limit and restrict her opportunity to really get out and expose her business to the markets so that, now, take it for instance, the lip therapy, lip balm, whatever it was, that went to Shark Tank. And the shark said to them, Mr. Wonderful, take your little colorful cockroach company and go someplace else because it's not going to. This is the reality of it. The reason why they got the response that they did was because they were on national television. They were on national television. Come on now. The reason why they got the exposure and the blow up that they did, even though they were turned down by the sharks, They were seen on national television. How else could they have gotten their product in front of that many people at one time? And if they had to do it out of their pocket marketing, and if they had to do it, now we know that at the end of the day, God can open up a door and do all kinds of things. But I'm just telling you, if it had not been for the fact that we saw them on Shark Tank and said, oh, no, you don't, because there's a whole lot of, can I tell you, there's a whole lot of other black lip color companies out there, and y'all not buying their products. Why? Because you've never heard of them, you've never seen them, you don't know anything about them, and there may be a lip color company out there that's even better than this one. But what's the difference? They were seen on national TV, and black folks start buying their products. You got to have a way to get into the market in mass, or you're going to continue to be a mom and pop company. Am I talking to anybody? So the fact that if you pass due diligence, and they're going to do that because they're checking to check their risk, they're seeing if there's adverse risk, they're looking to see what your debt load is, they're looking at all of those different things, because at the end of the day, they want ROI, they want return on their investment. So where this sister is snotting and crying, she's missing, unless it's not a reputable company, but she's missing an invaluable opportunity to launch her company to the next level. And I'm saying she's obviously offended because she started crying when they said you're only going to be a mom and pop, and they told her the truth. I'm trying to lay it down for y'all. I'm trying to lay it down for you, because at the end of the day, we don't understand how money works. So I came here and let me put this in, because you got to have your end game. I'm gonna go ahead and play my sister again, and I may have to pick this up later on. Where am I at in my time? Because I said. Okay, I'm at 8:19. I gotta be someplace by 9 o'clock, but I gotta lay this down for y'all, because I want you to understand what we're doing and how we're doing it, folks. We are ignorant, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I'm saying that with all the love. I'm saying that because I recognize and understand we really don't know what we're doing, and we really don't know how money works. But let somebody help you. Let somebody tell you. If you don't know what's going on, my God, today, find somebody that can get you where you're trying to go. Am I talking to anybody? And I'm going to say this once more and again. We are not going to get to a place of wealth with a bunch of mom and pop little corporations running around. We're going to have somebody that can actually turn and leverage and move this thing to the next level. Now, I'm getting this queued up and I'm getting this ready, because I'm going to go back and I'm going to play this once more and again, because this sister went through hell and high water from black folks, because when she did the right thing and sold, black folks talked about her like a dog, because they didn't understand the movement of money. And if you don't understand the movement of money, stop talking, stop bumping your gums. If you don't know what's up, just be quiet. Now we're going to watch this one more time. Here we go.
You sold Carol's daughter to L'Oreal for an undisclosed amount of money. As a business owner and founder, I'm sure this is like one of those like unprecedented moments. You live for these moments. I am so ready. God, look at the floodgates opening up. And the moment hits and social media takes off, and they say you're a sellout. You're not black enough. You don't care enough about black people. And you've been carrying this dream since 1993 in the hood over there, buying the block back. And then you've been called out and said you were a sellout, you weren't black enough because you sold your company to L'Oreal. What did that moment do to you?
It was actually 2014, and then unfortunately it gets dredged up periodically. So it came up again in 2020 when we were going through the racial reckoning of 2020. But it was such a difficult week in different ways. So we announced on a Monday, And I announced it to my team first because I had a team of 40 some odd people, but only 4 or 5 of them knew that this was in the works because everything is hush hush. And when you're going through the process, see, the assumption that people make is your company is a mess. You have no money. This is your only way out, and this is how you're going to get a check. So some company comes in and scoops you up on the cheap and saves you and then takes everything that you have. And actually, it's the opposite of that. You have to be performing really well. Your numbers have to look great. You can't have any problems. You're going through a process of due diligence for over a year. And for over a year, they're looking at your numbers and making sure that you're doing well and that there's no hiccup. So every time there's a hiccup, we'd be like, oh shit, what's going to happen? So it's lots and lots of pressure and stress like I had never experienced in my life. And so you get to that point where it's going to happen and you're letting your team know, you know what? Everybody still has their job. Like, we're all going together. This is what we've done together, which is not an easy thing to do, to take your whole team with you. We made a video so that we could announce it to the customers. I let everyone know I am not going anywhere. I am still involved. I'm still developing. We're not changing, and we weren't. And then all of that happens, and at the end of the day, I looked at my phone and someone said, "What example is she teaching her children by teaching them to be sellouts?" And I went in.
I know you did, baby.
First of all. Second of all. And then I get a text from my social media manager. Put the phone down.
Go get her phone. Somebody go in there and get Lisa's phone.
We got you. Put the phone down. So I put the phone down. And then throughout the week, there were, different things, and people, would post something and somebody would say something and somebody would write half of an article because they read 2 lines on somebody else's post or whatever. And the end of that week, that Friday, I was in Miami at Oprah's Live Your Best Life tour. And she was on stage and she was talking about how her grandmother had raised her basically to be a good maid for some nice white people. That's what her grandmother saw for her. And she was going through a lot of stress when her network was struggling. And she's like, it's not making money, and I'm losing advertisers, and it's just not what I thought it would be. And she was out by these 4 oak trees on her property where she would go and sit and pray and meditate. And when she was out by the trees, the message that she got was, you own a network.
Come on now.
Like, you own a network. Okay, there's problems.
Listen.
You own a network. And she said it just flipped everything for her. And I was sitting there and I said, God damn it, I sold my company to L'Oreal. I started in my kitchen.
Listen.
I'm sitting in the audience like, and I'm gonna let these people, no.
Get me down. And they ain't even got sheets on their bed. Girl, what we gonna do?
I went back to the office that Monday. I called everybody into the conference room and I was like, I don't know if any of y'all been going through what I've been going through. They're trying to make us feel bad.
We done. We done with that. Exactly.
We did that.
Yes.
And we're gonna keep doing it, and we're gonna show other people how to do it. And we're okay. We're one of the first, but there's gonna be more. And hold your head high and let them talk.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stop right there. And I love her energy. I love what she said. And again, if people, and this is where you got to, I'm talking to some folks right now. Crazy Berrytown. Crazy Berrytown is a streamer, y'all. She'll Zumba you to Zion. She'll give you chit chat and a sip. She'll lead you through the journey called grief. And if you're not following Crazy Berrytown, quit your eyes. Just quit them, because she's going to bless your whole life. I love me some you, Crazy Berrytown. Good morning. Now, I'm going to stop right there because basically, as she said, if you're dealing with people that are, when I say ignorant, I'm not meaning it in a derogatory way that a lot of people have made it sound. But if you're ignorant, you're ignorant. These people are ignorant. If you're ignorant to how money works and you're ignorant to how all of this comes about, you really have to be quiet you thought they were sellouts because they sold their product. And that's good, Joanna G. Thank you for your transparency, because a whole lot of people did, because they don't understand. And then even understand when you get a venture capitalist and or a PE, a private equity corp, to back you, they only do it for so many years and then they get out. They only do it for a prescribed number of years, and then they get out. So if you see that there's a corporation that's partnering with whomever, whatever, and you see it, and then all of a sudden, number one, they came in and they took, in our mind, they took over your company. And then the next thing you see, they're selling. That's what it's designed to do. And one of the things that we have to look at, if you're structuring a business, now this becomes the issue. If you want to stay a mom and pop, stay a mom and pop. If you know your vision and your aspiration is just for your community, is just for your city, is just for your state, stay a mom and pop. If you're talking about expanding and going to larger markets, you are going to look more than likely at some of these avenues to get you the income that you need to be able to go where you want to go. So you start talking about crowdfunding. You start talking about angel investors. You start talking about venture capitalists. You start talking about private equity. These, and to go back, and for those that came late, I'm laying out the plan somewhat for what Boss Energy LLC. I have created Boss Energy LLC, created it back when I was still in Kansas City. At the end of the day, Boss Energy LLC is going to be a global leader for being able to offer and provide seed money, whether it's through crowdfunding, whether it's through angel investors. And I will be one of the global angel investors personally. I'm not talking about my company. I'm talking about me personally, spiritual thought leader. I'm speaking it into existence today. You heard it here first publicly. I am going to be one of the first and leading global angel investors in Black corp and Black entrepreneurship globally. So at the end of the day, we'll be providing venture capital. We'll be providing PE as well. So this is where I'm stepping back, and I'm glad to report once more and again, I have someone in the PE space who has agreed to partner. Come on, I'm just partner with me in Boss Energy in the PE space, y'all. I'm telling you, somebody that I can trust, somebody that I trust my life to, and I don't have to worry about, am I getting in bed with somebody and I'll get up with fleas. This is all, listen, when I tell you this thing is too legit to quit, and God has positioned Boss Energy in this hour, I want y'all to understand it. But I'm also, you hear me talking about things are going to change and it won't be this way always. It really will not, but we got to understand some things as to how we're putting business together and how businesses are put together. Now, I'm going to share this video right here, and then we'll keep moving because I got a little bit of territory to cover. I got to get up out of here. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. This is Dave Burkus for more insights from Burkonomics. Today's insight: what is your personal and business end game? When we start a business, we are optimistic that we'll succeed and dream of riches to follow when the company is sold or going public. Some of us build our business to be lifestyle creations, destined to provide for our families, but not necessarily as creators of great value or wealth. I respect that, but most of us dream of selling our business someday for lots of money and building our wealth upon the event. So envision the end game when you start. It's important to do that because planning to take money from others requires that you do tell them when and how and to whom you might be selling that business someday, or making a run at an IPO. So here's an important exercise for your board and perhaps your advisors. An effective way to do this is to make a list of up to 10 possible future buyers, even now, long before that event. and to spend time defining what those buyers might want when purchasing your business. Would it be your intellectual property, your skilled employees, your brand, or market recognition, your distribution channel relationships? Whatever you envision your value to be, you should build upon that portion of your business by paying special attention as you work to build the operation. Your resources, your time, your employees' resources and time are all valuable when aimed toward a possible exit and increasing the value of the company. Focus your decisions and your resources to build that value. Step by step, you make resources and allocate your scarce resources. You should remember that this should be done for the ultimate value of the startup game. It will help you to explain the value of your business to potential investors and certainly help you to focus your efforts as you advance toward the goal of a liquidity event in your future. Well, I've written 14 books, 3 of them.
All right. So there you have, again, and I wanted to share that he's not the best speaker in the world, but what he's saying is very valuable. You need to stop at the front end. You have to start at the front end and decide what is it you want to do. Is it going to be a mom and pop forever, or are you actually looking toward leveraging? Normally, you want to, your two ends are going to typically be either you're going to sell, and this is what I want you to understand about selling. Selling doesn't mean that you're getting out of your business. You can actually still own that business and then start adding other businesses to it, because in these days and times, it's really not so much the stock portfolio that's making wealthy people wealthier. It's their business ownership. Wealthy people are buying businesses. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, once more and again, you don't want to have to get out there and physically, manually run all those businesses. You want those businesses to run themselves. So you're buying those businesses, keeping the people that run the business and know the business in charge, but you're buying them. And they're looking for that liquidity because that gives them cash. That gives them a tremendous financial windfall. So my business is now not just $1 million business on paper, but my business now actually, when we come to a point of liquidity, I actually have $1 million+ in my hands in my bank account. I still have my business, and I still now have that $1 million or more that I can begin to invest in other things as well. So I'm growing my wealth, and I'm diversifying, and I'm increasing multiple streams of income. I hope I'm making sense to you all. I hope I'm making sense to you all. So I wanted to understand, you got to, but at the onset, what is your end game? You really, to be effective, you want to determine that from the beginning so that you're not just wandering aimlessly. You need to understand how to go and how to flow. So I'm going to go to crowdfunding. I'm going to go through these next ones, and I'm going to probably go fairly hurriedly because I want you to understand when I'm using these different terminologies and these different ideas, I want you to know what they mean, what they're referencing, and I don't want you to be lost as to what I'm talking about. So when you start and when you're in business, there are some tools that you're going to want to be able to leverage money that you may not have that money yourselves. So then you got crowdfunding. You have angel investments with angel investors. And what did I tell you? I plan to be one of the biggest angel investors globally for Black and minority-owned businesses. You've got VE and you've got PE. So come on, I want to talk about crowdfunding right now. Let's take a look at this. And I know I'm going somewhat hurriedly, but again, I want you all to understand this is the space that Boss Energy is going into, because if we're going to have things available to the Black community, we've got to have some entities and organizations, not just of the majority. There's sound playing. Okay, let me grab it. Okay, thank you for that. I want you all to, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. I want you to, I was trying to fast forward and do two things at once. Can everybody hear? I'm gonna roll this beautiful bean footage and let me know if you're having any problem with the sound whatsoever. Let me pull this back up. And that was me trying to multitask, Michelle. Thanks so much. Okay, here we go. I hope you can hear this.
Let's talk about one of the fastest growing online industries, crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is when individuals or startups use an online platform to gain funding for a project. Globally, the crowdfunding industry raised $16.2 billion US in 2015 and is projected to grow to $96 billion by 2025. Generally speaking, there are 4 kinds of crowdfunding sites, although some sites include more than one type of crowdfunding. First, debt-based sites. These are where contributors receive interest payments in exchange for their contributions. Examples include Funded Here, Crowdo, and Moolah Sense. Next, equity-based sites, where contributors receive shares in exchange for their contributions. Examples include AngelList, Funnel, Seedrs, and CapBridge. Third, reward-based platforms, where contributors are promised rewards in exchange for their support, like first priority access to the product once it goes live. Examples include Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and Ulule. Finally, donation-based platforms, where donations are charitable and usually tax-deductible. Examples include Indiegogo, Patreon, YouCaring, and FriendFund. Now, crowdfunding websites have to invest heavily in their platforms up front and slowly build up scale. So before investing in a crowdfunding platform, it's important to consider its stage of growth. In the early stage, the main focus should be on customer traction. You can gauge this by the amount of momentum being built among project initiators and investors. Therefore, the key valuation metrics include valuation divided by number of campaigns, valuation divided by successful campaigns, and valuation by funds raised. In the growth stage, the aim is to prove the revenue model and to scale up as rapidly as possible. Therefore, the key valuation metrics include valuation divided by funding value and valuation divided by revenue. Finally, in the late stage, the goal is to maximize profitability and cash flow while maintaining growth. Therefore, the key valuation metrics include valuation divided by revenue, valuation divided by EBITDA, and the PE ratio. Those are the basics of crowdfunding. To learn more, visit sgxacademy.com or download the digital research paper at sgx.com.
So in essence, to sum that up in so many words, basically what you'll do in a crowdfunding situation, you'll get as many people as you can to come in and support your idea, put it out there, and just you got money coming from all different directions. You got money coming from all different directions. People just come in and that's the crowd. The crowd is funding your vision. So at the end of the day, some of you may want to look at that as an option for how you want to get started as you're trying to navigate these waters, maybe many times with some limited resources. I want to go and I want to share this next one because I'm really running out of time. I'm going to show this one. How long is this one? I want to show this next one, and this is probably all I'm going to be able to get through today because of my time constraint. I do need to get out of here just a little bit early. But I want you, it's got a commercial on the front end. I'm going to just go ahead and let it run, commercial and all. So you guys, you know, you're going to see a little ad going on here, and then we'll get out of that as soon as possible. But I do want to go into this next area. We'll continue this conversation on next week. Again, I'm proud and happy to say that Boss Energy LLC, BE, is actually going to take this space and we're developing, and we are, when I say we're building something, those aren't just catchwords to talk. I really mean that. We're building something, and we will be a global leader in seed funding and seed sourcing in the Black community. That's how we plan to change the atmosphere. So this one's about 1 minute and 12 seconds long when we actually get to it. I'm gonna go ahead and let this commercial run, and here we go.
In your home, don't let foundation issues take over your life. Cracks in your walls, uneven floors, these are warning.
Alright, so in this video, we're going to talk about venture capital, what it is, how you get started, what the relationships needed, and kind of just some nitty-gritty details, okay?
So Lincoln here is our resident expert in all this. Previously worked at a venture fund, though. Previously also worked at JP Morgan as well. So to give a little to toot some horn over here.
Thank you.
Lincoln knows what he's talking about when we're doing this.
All right, so venture capital. You'll hear the term venture capital and then also angel investors. Now, what's the difference between these two? Essentially, venture capital is you're investing other people's money into small businesses, and angel investing is you're investing your own money into small businesses. Okay? So usually a little bit more of a group and kind of a formed entity, and then just kind of by yourself. So, but let's talk a little bit about the relationship between these small companies, right? So you're investing in seed companies, early stage companies. And there's kind of, when you look at a venture fund, there's two types of people that you'll see on the founding team, like as the general partners. So the first is an expert investor, right? This is somebody who has worked in the industry like healthcare for 20 years or worked in finance or something. You know, they've invested in businesses before, right? And the second type of person is an entrepreneur.
And a successful entrepreneur, I'll say with that. This entrepreneur has already been on this side of the coin. Probably company ABC Co. has built it and sold it and now has a lot of cash to play with inside of a venture capital fund and wants to go reinvest into new companies, the next generation of entrepreneurs.
Yep, so these two together kind of make a dynamic duo, right? And then there's you, right? If you're one of these people, great. You know, that's awesome. You're well on your way. If you're not, you have two different options. The first is to become one, right? And the second is to partner with one. So partnering is pretty self-explanatory, right? But becoming, like, yeah, you can become an entrepreneur, you can start a business, you probably have, but I mean, you're in this to start a venture capital firm, right? So let's talk about how you become an expert investor.
So when you first think of expert investor, you think of someone that has a Harvard MBA, JD MBA, whatever, and they have done this for 30 years. It doesn't have to be the case. Some of these funds, actually a great example is Harlem Capital venture capital funds started with $25,000. They started, each member put in $5,000 each, that's all they had, and they started investing in very early stage seed
like a
companies.
cafe, you know, a cafe in a super small business boutique firm.
So by just starting though, by actually doing anything, by starting, you are now ahead of 95% of the other type of people in the space by doing just one deal or one transaction. My first fund was $49,000, right? It's nothing, but it's more than 95% of the other finance people in the world have done. It's $49,000 more to be exact. And so it builds you up here. One other example I want to give is a great guy I brought on my show. His name's Sam Yaffa. He started out of college with a venture capital fund, and he became this expert investor. The way he did it was the way he positioned himself. He said, hey, I'm young. I'm 23 years old. I know what consumers my age like to invest in. So bring me on as a partner. You guys are all 50 years old plus. You do not understand the difference between FaceTime and Zoom and a Google Voice call. Like, you just don't know, right? But I do. And so I could be a better advocate for these. You're trying to invest into a small, hip tech startup that's going to change how millennials do business. Well, hey, I'm a millennial or I'm a Gen Z. Bring me on your board, and that's how he leveraged himself into actually a very nice position at their fund and did very well.
So start thinking about that, right? The team dynamics there, like that's the most crucial thing in a venture fund. So let's talk about the relationship between a venture capital firm and the companies they're investing in. Unlike private equity, where in private equity you are hands-on, you're really injecting a ton of money into the business and you're flipping management, selling pieces. A venture capital is more of a passive role, right? Where you are investing money, you're still advising. It usually happens where you get a board seat, usually maybe 20% equity in a big round of funding is what the company's forfeiting in exchange for your expertise. So you got to understand, when this company is looking for money, if it's a good company, you're not going to be the only VC firm that is trying to invest in them, right? Because all these VC firms raise the money, and there's just this one deal that's really good, right? And that's when, a deal like a fundraising for a company can become oversubscribed. So you really need to make yourself unique, right? Like as a venture capital firm, like show that you're a good partner to work with.
Mm-hmm. A lot of these companies are going to shop actually VCs. There's actually a lot of money out there.
Oh yeah.
And they're going to do a good job of vetting you. They want to make sure they're bringing on a strategic partner. Think about Shark Tank, right? Sometimes there's two sharks, they have similar offers, but the entrepreneur would choose one shark over the other because there's more than just money that firm or person adds. A company's going to do the same thing, especially in the venture capital space. What does your firm even, maybe there's other value add that you can provide besides just dollars. You can provide expertise or coaching or mentorship or other partnerships or other people. Those are things to consider your relationship with the companies you're investing in.
Let's pivot a little bit and just talk about where venture capital fits into the space, okay? So you've seen this in some of our other videos, but this is kind of the life cycle of a business, okay? So you kind of have your growth stage, a mature stage of a company, and then maybe a distressed stage. So the company is doing well, it's finally, usually kind of this mature stage is profitable, and then eventually companies die, and then right here is kind of like idea, right? It's like only a concept. So venture capital firms, they play in this space right here, okay? It's all very early stage. And the first dollars that a small company raise is usually referred to as a seed funding. This comes from the 3S we like to call, the friends, family, and fools, right? And then of course maybe angel investors or VCs. And then for each round of funding that a company raises is just, a Series A, Series B, Series D, Series E. So as a venture firm, it's very common to have, kind of an area of venture that you specialize in. So this would be late stage venture, this is mid, and this is kind of early stage venture capital. Right? And you kind of want to stay in those sectors, right? Because they each have different characteristics. An early stage venture firm, seed and A, it's a lot riskier typically, right? But with that comes a lot, potential higher reward, right? And then late stage venture usually is a little safer, right? But like once the company's had this much, received all this funding, they're usually grown quite a bit and substantial. They haven't quite hit profitability yet, so they just need a little bit more money. But obviously your equity positions aren't going to be as large in a late stage venture firm, so not quite as good of returns. But you kind of need to be targeting where you're going to fit into that.
So in addition to a category, maybe you're a Series A type of venture capital firm, a lot of VC firms will specialize in an industry as well. So some firms, the most common, would you say like a tech, right? Silicon Valley Tech, Sequoia Capital, right? They're going to invest into these types of funds. There's actually a lot of VC funds that will do stuff outside of tech or a special version of tech. Maybe it's tech in healthcare, fintech, or telehealth, or maybe you want to go to emerging markets. Maybe you like to invest in third world countries or developing countries because you see that there's this emerging market that's going to take off, and it's almost like seed plus compounding growth inside of an emerging market.
Perfect. I'm glad you mentioned that, Bridger. Now, additionally, the big thing you need to think about as a venture capital firm is not only how you're going to buy these companies, but how are you going to exit, right? How are you going to get out of your positions?
So on this life cycle, there's a few exits that could happen inside of here. Number one, the most common you always see is the IPO, right? Initial public offering. Right here at the mature stage, the company will go public and they'll sell. I think we saw DoorDash and Snapchat, some other big,
Airbnb.
Some huge VC-backed companies that finally IPO'd, and all of these venture funds now have their big payday, right? They get all paid off and they made huge returns. That's number one. Number two would be that they sell to a large private equity firm or potentially another venture capital partner. So some VC funds, they get in at Series A and they get out at Series D or C, right? That's still an exit that they can put up their shares. And that's they like to go from A to C. That's it. They're hoping the company needs more future rounds of funding because that gives them exit opportunities. Or maybe they're not coming from VC, but a full out, instead of an IPO, a big private company is going to come and gobble up and buy all the shares.
Or even a public one, right? Acquisitions are so common today, right? Of these large, mass behemoth entities just acquire several companies a year, right? And maybe one of these smaller ones is poised for an acquisition. So typically in venture capital, you want to have like a 5-year exit plan, right? Like how am I going to get out of this deal? Then how am I going to return money to investors, right? The life of a venture capital fund is probably anywhere between 8 to 12 years. Now you can file extensions on that, right? So one of the firms, venture funds my buddy works at, like one of their companies ended up going to IPO, and it was like right as they were getting ready to file, was year 10 when their fund, and they were supposed to liquidate, but they filed extension with their shareholders and extended the life of the fund 2 years, and it obviously increased the value of those shares exponentially. So that's venture capital and kind of a wrap.
So there you have it in a nutshell. And that video right there is a great video. I definitely wanted to share that. Now, as I said, I got to get out of here because I got a 9 o'clock, so I'm going to wrap this up quick, fast, and in a hurry. But this gives you an idea when I say we're building something. And what is it that Boss Energy is building? We are building all of these different aspects and elements to be able to move forward with seed funding and helping organizations and companies in the Black community to be able to grow. And at the end of the day, I want to say, I hope that you all kind of got a better idea. There's so much more. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what I wanted to share on today. However, I'll come back on on Tuesday. We started our new schedule this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. No more Thursdays. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll come back on Tuesday and we'll pick up and catch the rest of this. I hope that you kind of get a better understanding of how money works in businesses, how businesses operate in their life cycle. And again, if we're going to move forward in the Black community to really become power brokers on the scene, we've got to understand how all of these elements operate. So with that, thank you all. I appreciate everybody. Judy, I'll reach out. One of my moderators may be able to give you some information. I'm on the run today, but thank you for coming, and I'm glad that you loved it. To everybody that's here, we're going to keep going over this information and expanding it, because this is the day and time. We've got to understand the season. Rhonda Royal came in and said, understanding the times. The times are no longer about here we go around the mulberry bush. We need to be able to move into this space economically and financially and make a huge splash. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're committed to, and that's what we're building. With that, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. I appreciate everybody that's in here on today. Stay with us. We're going to raid somewhere. I'll be back on Tuesday morning, but until then, mad love to you. Listen, it won't be this way always, folks. So much mad love to you, and I appreciate you for being in the Lion's Den this morning. I want to say thank you to everybody that's here. I am saying always, be the change that you want to see. And it's us, you, me, we all. I want to appreciate everybody that came through. Always my moderators. Thank you, Michelle Browno, Shelly Thunder, The Rebel Inc. You know I love you. To everyone that gave those roaring biddies, I appreciate you. Nothing but you. And to all the resubs and the re-ups, thank you, thank you, thank you. Regina Sims, thank you for this beautiful song, because it won't be this way always, and you can get her on all platforms. I promise you can. She'll bless your life. My corporate sponsor, David Ryan Charity, where the motto is love on purpose. Another good place to bless the people, and I appreciate you for sponsoring me. Now come on and ride this raid train, because we're going somewhere and we're doing something. This is the spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, reminding you, you have a date with destiny. Go to bed with your vision, sleep with your dreams, and wake up with your baby called promise. Now listen, do what you love what you do, and you know how I say it, have peace for your journey.